Okay, hi guys, everyone, good morning. I am Rima and I am taking over the Fitter Mama account. As you can see, this morning I'm going to be taking you guys through some pregnancy yoga, some prenatal yoga for all of you fabulous lovelies. So I'm going to be doing just a quick 30-minute class today to give you guys a little taster. So just to run through a little bit of kind of admin before everyone joins. So if you are early on in pregnancy, hi guys, thanks for joining. If you guys are early on in pregnancy, so if you are in the first trimester or if you're kind of towards the last few weeks, just take it really easy and listen to your bodies. I obviously cannot see you, so I can't really guide you with anything. So if you're not sure, just pause the practice and I'm going to be saving this video so you can access it any time. You can ask me any questions afterwards. So just a few things. So pregnancy yoga generally, for anyone who hasn't practiced it before, it's all about bringing balance into the body, bringing you just a little bit of a reset with everything changing. So as you probably know by now, your body's changing, your hormones are going wild, everything's kind of changing, and yoga is all about bringing it back to that balance that you can find inside through various ways. So today we're going to focus on the strength element. So for me, pregnancy was all about feeling strong, both that inner strength, but also with your body, kind of knowing that you can take on everything that's going to come along with the birth, but even throughout the pregnancy and beyond. So today we're going to be focusing on that strength element, focusing on some of the key areas where it's really important to build strength in pregnancy. So it's going to be our legs, our glutes, the back, the core, all the kind of areas that get a lot of weight in it. So hi guys, thank you so much for joining. So let's give it a go. So to start off with, we're going to bring our feet, maybe just bring them a little bit more than hip width apart, just enough that you feel stable. And we're just going to find ourselves a little grounding. So we just want to kind of ground ourselves down into the mat. So this means with your feet, just making sure your weight is very evenly spread. With your hips and your tailbone, you're just going to do a little tuck to release any of that pressure in your lower back. Let's slowly take our shoulders up and back and down. So now we're in a very good posture where our spine is aligned. We've taken off any pressure on our lower back by tucking those hips in. And with our arms next to our body, we're just going to start inhaling as we lift those arms up towards the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are, and exhaling down. So just simple movements, inhaling to take the arms up and exhaling down. So moving slowly with control, following your own breath. So making sure we're not holding the breath at any point, just follow your natural rhythm and just use this moment to kind of ground you into this moment, into this practice. So leaving anything else that might have happened this morning outside of this practice. So we'll just do a couple more. So inhaling to take the arms up, really reaching up at the top, getting a nice little stretch. And exhaling down. Let's do one last one to help us. Just stretch it out, get ready for some movement. And when you finish your last one, bring your arms down. I'm going to move into some squats. Now, I generally find it a little bit easier if you bring your feet a little bit wider apart and have your toes pointed slightly outwards. So that's going to help you with any issues in the knees and also works more into the glutes, which is a key area. So from here, we're just going to start squatting down. And you can have your hands in front of you if that's easier for you, helping you with balance, or just simply on your hips. So we're just doing some simple squats, so taking the hips back and down as you come down. If you have any pelvic issues or if this feels uncomfortable in your pelvis, you might just want to practice it with your feet a little bit closer together, but it will make it a little bit harder. So you might not be able to come down as low because you don't want to compress the abdomen. So as always, with pregnancy yoga, you're working with your own body, your own strength, and use your body to guide you on how it feels. If anything feels uncomfortable, just pause, ask me any questions after this class and I'll be happy to answer. With your squats, I just wanted to show you, really important that you take the hips back as you come down. So you don't want to be doing this when the knees are coming forwards. You want to be taking those hips back and down. So let's do 2 more like this. Good, and now in your next one, when you come down, I want you to hold it here, making sure the knees are out, so they haven't kind of collapsed inwards. Take them nice and out, nice and strong on top of your ankles, and we're just pulsing for 1, 2, 3, keep pulsing just to 5, 1 more, and bring yourself up. Good. If you want to just shake it off, so just shake out your shoulders if you need to, shake out your legs, give them a little tap if you need to. And we're going to move into some side stretches. So for this one, you want to take your arms out to either side, take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're rotating your arms down so that the right arm comes down towards your right leg, left arm moves up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to hold it here to get a nice little side stretch. Use this time to maybe settle your breath down. And then take another big inhale for me. And as you exhale, we're slowly switching over to the other side. So this time, right arm comes up towards the ceiling. Left arm is next to your left leg. So really reach up towards the ceiling with your arm, and also you don't want to be collapsing forwards or back, so you want to keep the spine nice and aligned and just rotate it to the side to get a nice stretch that you should be feeling from underneath your arm all the way down towards your waist. Okay, let's hold it for 1 more breath here. And then slowly bring the arm down. Shake anything off if you need to. I'm going to do 1 more set of squats. This time I'm going to give you a little challenge. So if you wanted to do them as we did just now, you can do the same thing again. But if you want a little challenge, you can bring your arms into it so that when you come down in a squat, we're using our goddess arm. So this is where we've created this nice little right angle with our arms, and the elbow is in a line with your shoulder. So they're nice and wide, really opening up the chest. Okay, so when you're ready, you're either coming down into a squat or the full goddess squat with the arms. Nice, so when you're ready, you're going to start squatting down and up. So choose the variation that works with your body. If it's too much with the arms, just simply move the legs. Again, making sure that your knees are not collapsing in. So when you move down, make sure you're not ending up in this kind of position. Your knees should be nice and wide. With your elbows, you want them nice and wide, so you're really creating a nice opening in this chest area. And move nice and slowly with control. So it's all about working smart. So you want to do less, but it's about the quality. So nice and slow, but really working into those key areas, really strengthening those legs, those arms, the back. This is a nice little exercise. Let's do 2 more. Nice. So next time you come up, again, just shake it all out. If you need to bring your feet maybe a little bit in, just to give yourself a little break before we move into the next one. And let's just do some stretches with our neck. So take a nice big breath in for me. And as you exhale, turn towards the right. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling towards the left. Inhaling to center. And exhaling exhaling up. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling down, bringing that chin to chest. Now I'm going to hold it here, so keep breathing here, don't hold your breath. And we're just going to hold it here to give you a little stretch in that top of your spine. Good, and when you're ready, bring your gaze back up. Now slowly moving your feet into that wide-legged position again. We're going to move into a little warrior flow. So again, nice and strong, creating strength both in the body but also mentally as well. So you want your feet at least about double hip width apart, but again, just check it's comfortable for you. If you need to bring your feet a little bit closer, and that's totally fine. So you're going to slowly move your right foot outwards, so it's facing away from you, but you're keeping your hips facing forwards, okay? So you've really opened up the hip into that side of the right side. And we're just going to start by bending and straightening that right leg so that your knee just hits on top of the ankle, and then bringing it back. If you find that your knee is moving way past your ankle, you might need to move your feet a little bit wider apart, or simply just don't bend that leg as much. So that's quite a key point here. You want to make sure the knee stays on top of the ankle when you bend it, so that we're not putting any additional weight onto our knees. Good. So we just keep on bending and straightening that right leg. The hands can just be on your hips for now. We're going to start bringing them in a second. So while we're just opening up this right side, it should feel comfortable for everyone. It should just feel like a nice little stretch on the inside of that right thigh, maybe in the right hip, but it shouldn't be painful. Nothing we do today should be painful. Good, now let's start to bring the arms into it. So we're going to start with the arms in prayer position in front of our chest, and every time we bend that leg, we're slowly bringing the arms out and back into prayer. So opening up into a little warrior pose and then bringing it back in. So again, just move with your own body, with your own rhythm, nice and slowly with control. So all the differences are going to be in kind of floppy arms versus nice strong arms. When you're moving, not like kind of quick jutty movements. You want nice flow to feel the stretch, but also really work the right muscles in the right way. So nice little flow. Now next time you open up into warrior, you're going to hold it here. So make sure the knee sits on top of the ankle, the arms are nice and strong, fingers extended, and you're going to turn to look towards your right fingertips. Relax those shoulders, keep those hips facing forwards. And then holding in warrior. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to rotate the arms up. So that right arm comes up towards the ceiling, left arm comes down towards the left leg. And you're going to breathe here for a moment. And then take another inhale for me. And as you exhale, you're rotating the other way this time, bending that right arm so that it settles onto your right thigh, and left arm comes up towards the ceiling. If you can look towards your left hand and take your gaze up. And then slowly coming back into our warrior position. And you can straighten that leg and straighten the arms, bring them down, turn that right foot in, and let's do a nice little wide-legged forward bend. So you're just simply taking your chest slightly forwards down to the ground, but only about halfway. So you're not coming any more lower because you don't want to compress the abdomen. So you're just sticking the hips back and just bringing your chest slightly forwards to get a nice little stretch into your legs. So I'll show you from the side what this should look like. You want to try and keep the spine nice and straight. So as you come down, you're sticking those hips back and you're keeping the spine as straight as you can. So you're not kind of bending over the chest. And you should be feeling a nice stretch, especially on the tops of the back of your legs. Take a couple of breaths here. And then slowly bring yourself back up into standing. And from here, we're going to do the same little warrior flow on the left side. So again, you're starting off with your feet wide as they were. I'm going to slowly turn the left foot this time to face away from you. And again, you're keeping the hips nice and straight, so the hips are still in the same position. It's just your left foot that's opened up. I'm going to start with that bending and straightening of that left leg. So same things apply. You want to make sure that the knee sits on top of the ankle. So if it's overshooting, you might want to bring your feet a little bit wider apart. If that feels comfortable for you, you can keep the hands on the hips for now as you just open up that left side of the thighs, left side of the hip, just moving into that area, just warming it up before we move into warrior on this side as well. So these are quite strong poses. They are going to put a lot of weight onto your legs and be working you really hard. So if you feel yourself getting really out of breath and it feels uncomfortable, just simply stop, take a little pause and maybe rejoin. Or if you're not sure, like I said, I'm happy to take any questions afterwards. You can just send me any questions, anything you're not sure about before you give this a go. We'll be saving this little video so you can practice at any time. Right, let's start to bring the arms into it. So hands into prayer in front of your chest. And as you bend, you're opening the arms up. So nice and slowly, creating a nice little flow. Just moving however it feels comfortable for your body. So yoga in pregnancy is a really nice way to start building that awareness in your body. For a lot of us, we're just kind of moving around day to day, sort of rushing from one thing to the other, and it's really normal and really natural to just forget about kind of even thinking, what feels good, what doesn't feel right, how is our body feeling today. So moving with awareness in pregnancy yoga can be a really good way of just starting to build that awareness. Good. Now next time you're going to open up. You're going to open up into warrior. I'm going to hold it here. So knee sits on top of the ankle, hips are still facing forwards, arms are nice and strong, and we're turning to look towards our left fingertips. Relax those shoulders, tuck those hips in if you're finding yourself that you're pushing your hips back too much. Just a little tuck, nice and strong. And take a breath in for me. And as you exhale, you're rotating the arms back. So the left arm comes up, right arm comes down towards your right leg, reaching up into the side stretch. Take a breath here. And then take another inhale for me. And as you exhale, you're rotating the arms the other way so that the left arm comes onto your left thigh, right arm comes up towards the ceiling. And if you can, look up towards that right hand. And we're just going to hold it here for a breath. So you're doing really well. If anyone's finding this a little bit too hard, you can just straighten the legs and just do the side stretches. But we're on the last little bit of this exercise, so hold on if you can. Slowly rotate yourself up into warrior. And then turn that left foot in, bring your arms down and just shake it off. Slowly start to walk your feet closer together. Take this slow because we have been in a wide position for a while. Shake off the legs if you need to, shake off the hands or the shoulders, whatever feels good. And then slowly make your way down towards the mat. So if you need to be making sure that you're drinking water, please do take any breaks that you need to. We're simply coming down onto the mat onto all fours. So we want to make sure here that your hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. So we're in this really kind of very balanced position. So you should feel very stable here. And from here, we're going to start working into some cat-cow poses. So as you inhale, you're simply taking the hips up, inverting that spine, take your gaze slightly higher, press those shoulder blades towards each other, to open up the front of your chest. And as you exhale, you're rounding the back, tucking your chin to chest, tucking those hips in. And then you're going to move with your own breath. So as you inhale, you're taking those hips up, allowing your abdomen to fall down towards the mat. And as you exhale, you're rounding the back, creating this nice curve in the back. And then just continue with your own breath. So every time you inhale, you're inverting that spine. And as you exhale, you're rounding the spine. So keep going with your own breath. These movements are really going to open up your spine, stretch it out all the way from the top to the bottom, and especially works really well into that kind of lower back area and the coccyx sort of area where in pregnancy, as you probably know, you do feel that kind of pressure and that tightness quite a lot. So that's where a lot of the weight ends up sitting. So it's a really nice practice to just do regularly. If you can do it every day, that's going to be really, really helpful for you. A few things to remember is if your wrists are feeling a little bit sensitive, just make sure you've opened your fingers quite wide so that you're pressing your weight evenly everywhere. And you can also bend your elbows slightly just to take that pressure off. That might help you. So instead of having straight arms, just bend the elbows slightly as you practice. But this should feel nice at every stage in pregnancy. Okay, we'll just do a couple more. And then next time you exhale, you can slowly bring your hips down towards your heels into child pose, bringing that forehead down towards the mat. And arms can be next to your body or simply in front of you in extended child pose. If you're struggling to get your forehead down to the mat, try widening your knees or maybe even using a cushion or your hands as support underneath your forehead. Or if you have a yoga brick or any kind of blocks, anything you can, even an exercise ball if you want that in front of you, and you can just simply keep your hands on there, so that's going to help you, especially if you're further along in pregnancy. You might need a bit more space for the bump. So however it works for you, just going to relax down into child pose, and you're going to breathe here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths here. Use this moment to just ground you a little bit. Child pose is such a great pose for anyone really, but especially in pregnancy if you're feeling any kind of feeling of overwhelmed, any kind of anxiety. Child pose is always going to be a great one to come to because you can usually practice it every stage. You can use the different variations if you need to, and it's going to help you to just trigger that parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the system that's in charge of kind of getting that calm restored into your body. So if you ever need that, just bring yourself down into child pose and just breathe. That's always going to help you. So now when you're ready, you're going to slowly come out of child pose, back onto that all fours position. I'm just going to bring the core into it. So I'm going to start to activate that core. If it gets too much, you can just carry on with the cat-cow poses as we just did. In this kind of core exercise, what we're going to be doing is we're going to lift slowly the arm and opposite leg, just extending them out, turn by turn. So left arm and right leg, and then right arm, left leg. Just slowly, one at a time. Extending them out in front of you and behind, keeping them nice and straight as you can, and keeping that core nice and engaged. So that means you don't want to be wobbling around. You want to keep that core nice and tight and move nice and controlled movements. So this is going to be building your strength in your glutes, in your back, in your core, in your arms. So really nice exercise to kind of build that strength. If it's too much for you to move with the arms and the legs, you can simply keep the hands down and just move the legs, so one at a time, extending one leg out. And if you need to come down onto your elbows, if your hands or wrists are feeling sensitive, you can simply come down onto your elbows and again practice one leg at a time. Keep that core nice and engaged. Okay, so whichever variation you're practicing, I'm going to do a few more. Always moving with awareness. Nice controlled movements. Good. Okay, we'll do one more. And then when you come down, simply take yourself, just sit back onto your heels and let's just do a little wrist stretch. We've put a lot of pressure onto our wrists. If you want to just open up your fingers and close. So closing into a fist and then opening them. So fingers nice and wide. Just getting that little movement in, getting some stretches into the fingers and the wrists. And then slowly take your hands together, clasping them together, bring your elbows together. And just take your hands from side to side. So this is going to stretch out your wrists. Nice. And then just shake it off. So now we're going to practice a little bit more into the core, but the sides of our core. So slowly bringing yourself up so that you're still on your knees, but you're just bringing those hips up off the heels into this kneeling position. And now take this next bit slowly, especially with balance, it can get a little bit tricky. You want to slowly extend your right leg out, just on the side of you, so you're creating this nice little diagonal line. Take your left hand and slowly place it on the floor next to you, just enough that you can get it so that you can create this nice diagonal line and it feels comfortable. If you want to take your hand a little bit closer towards you, if that feels more comfortable, that's fine. There shouldn't be any strain on the abdomen. So if it feels uncomfortable, just come a little bit closer, or simply just stay up here and you can just enjoy the side stretch. If you've got your hand down on the mat, you can bring your right arm up towards the ceiling. If you need to come up onto your fingertips, that's fine too. So however it feels comfortable, creating this nice side stretch, nice straight lines. And then from here, if you do want to bring a little bit extra strength work, what you can do is with your right leg, you can simply lift and tap the mat. So you're really working into the side of your waist. You might need to play around with where that left hand is, if you need to maybe take it a little bit away from you, if that feels better. So only practice this version if it feels okay for you. If it feels like it's too much, just step back into the variations that I mentioned. But if this is okay, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. So slowly bring yourself back into that kneeling position. Take your time. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So again, slowly taking that left foot out this time and extending it out away from you. And if you can, bring your right arm down so that your right hand comes down onto the mat. Left arm comes up. Again, if you need to just hold it in any of the variations, please do, if you can't bring yourself down. And again, if you want the challenge, you're going to start lifting that left leg and just tapping the mat. So you're creating a nice straight line. This whole kind of side of your body is in line. You haven't twisted forwards or back. You want to make sure that your spine, your legs, everything are in the same diagonal line as you're moving. So the movement is coming from the side of your waist. Good. Okay, so just tapping with control. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring yourself back into that kneeling position. And we're just going to finish off with some kneeling squats. So in this position, I've just turned to the side to show you guys. You're going to just bring your glutes down onto your heels and back up. Okay, so just simply bringing the glutes down and up. If you need to use your hands for balance, you can keep them in front of you. So you might hear some clicking, just like I am in my knees. That's okay. You should be moving with control, so really feel the resistance as you come down. So gravity is going to want to make you kind of just fall down. You don't want to do that. You want to move slowly, resisting the urge just to collapse down. And we'll just do 2 more like this. So feel those thighs strengthening. And last one. Well done, guys. So now we're going to move into relaxation. So that was a little bit of strength work for you. Hopefully you're feeling nice and strong, nice and worked out. Now in relaxation, you generally want to be on your left side, but obviously you guys know best. So if you're feeling okay on your back and you're early on, maybe before 24 weeks, feel free to come down on to your back, but otherwise on your left side, if that's okay for you. You want to come into a lying down position, maybe grab some cushions. If you want to put one underneath your head, maybe one between your knees. So however you feel comfortable, just bringing yourself down into a nice relaxed position. Start to settle down onto the mat. So with your hands, maybe you need one hand in front of you on the ground to help you to feel stable. Or maybe it feels nice to have the hand on the bump, onto baby. So whichever feels good for you, just finding a nice way of being here for a few moments, feeling settled. So just allow your body to settle down and begin to soften. So you're just surrendering down into the ground, down into the mat, not holding on to any kind of tension anywhere in the body. Gently close your eyes if they're still open. Bring your awareness inwards. And let's use this awareness to just scan through the body to see if there's any areas of tension still in the body. So starting from the top of the head, just bringing the awareness, moving down into the forehead, just noticing if you're scrunching up here, holding on to any tension here. And just allow it to soften. Slowly move down through the muscles throughout your face. So even with your eyes, just noticing if you're scrunching them tight or if they're just gently closed. Allowing that jaw to soften. Relaxing your tongue down. Taking your awareness down into the neck and the shoulders. So if you notice any tension, just simply being aware of it and trying to let go of it physically, just softening those areas of the body. Take your awareness down through your spine, slowly relaxing every part of it and allowing yourself to really just sink down to the mat. Take that awareness into your hips, and moving slowly through your legs. Letting go of any tension that you're still holding on to without even realizing. So moving down through your legs, into your calf muscles, all the way down into your feet, relaxing your toes. And now just allowing yourself to be in this soft, relaxed way just for a few moments. And then slowly bring your awareness back onto your body and just start to wake your body up nice and slowly. Take your time. You're going to slowly bring yourself into a seated position whenever you're ready. You can take your time, you can even hold it into this relaxation for a little while longer if you want to. We're going to end this class here today. So today the focus was on strength, and I'm going to be here for the next 2 weeks as well. Next week we're going to bring a little bit more focus onto the breath and how we can connect the breath with our movements, and also cover a couple of breathing exercises that's going to help you throughout pregnancy, but especially during birth and beyond, for any times of kind of anxiety or feelings of being overwhelmed. So hopefully you can join me again next Sunday. Thank you so much for joining today, and have a lovely day.